Hi there, I'm Archie, and today I bring you a quick tutorial on getting started modding Game Maker YYC games with YY Toolkit. Uh, for this video, I assume you already have Visual Studio set up and are ready to compile C++ using MSVC. So, the first thing you're going to want to do to actually get started setting up YY Toolkit is to download the Aurie project extension. Now you can do that by going into the Aurie Framework repository, or rather the organization. So just click on this. Now go into the Aurie repository, go into releases, and download the Aurie project VSIX file. Save it to disk and run it. It's gonna ask you whether or not you want to install it into Visual Studio. Just say yes. Once that's done, you have to restart Visual Studio. I don't have it open, so I don't have to do that. And once you restart it, you can just open it up, click on create a new project, and create a new Aurie Framework module. You're gonna see it right up here. It's gonna be marked as new, so it should be on the top. Once you've got that selected, you can just click on next, name it whatever. I'm just gonna leave it on default, and click on create. Now here comes a very challenging part that I've seen people struggle with, and that is you first, before getting started, have to click on this small button that says show all files, which is going to bring up the actual directory structure that Aurie modules use, namely the include and the source directory. Now in the source directory, that's where you place all your code. In the include directory, that's where library code goes, right? So you can see Aurie is here, YY Toolkit is going to be here in a bit, and any other mods you may use, such as the Holocure callback manager that the peeps over at the Holocure Discord server made. Before, however, getting started, we first have to do some housekeeping. First up on the list is updating the Aurie shared headers, because if we go into the shared headers, you can actually see that you have the very first release of the Aurie Framework headers here. This is due to the fact that this template is not being updated due to it being a massive headache on my part, and so I make you just update it manually. Now, doing that is very easy. You just have to go into the Aurie repository, go into the main code view here, click on Aurie, go into source, framework, and here you're going to see two files, that is framework HPP and shared HPP. We're interested in the latter, so just click on that and download it. Once you've got that, you can just open it in your favorite text editor. It's going to bring up Sublime Text here. And you can just copy everything from here into the shared header that's already in the project. Make sure to overwrite everything. Don't just copy it after, because that might actually cause issues with like duplicate functions or something. So once that's done, we have essentially a blank Aurie project that's updated. Now, while you could go and compile right now, it would work, you wouldn't have access to anything related to YY Toolkit or Game Maker, because Aurie does not provide the facilities to do that. Now, to actually get YY Toolkit into this project, you're going to want to go back into the main YY Toolkit repository, click on YY Toolkit, click on include, and here you're going to see 3 folders. Now we're interested in this folder, that being function wrapper. So just click on function wrapper HPP, download it, and open it up in File Explorer, and you're going to see it probably in your downloads folder as just a C++ header file. Now to actually import it into our Aurie module, we're going to want to create a new directory under the include directory. We're going to name it function wrapper. It has to be named like this. I'm not sure if it's case sensitive, probably isn't, but better to name it this way. Once you have that, you can just open the folder in File Explorer and drag the function wrapper HPP file from your downloads folder into this new folder that we've just created. Once you do that, note that Visual Studio may not immediately register the file's presence, and in order to force it to do so, you have to actually click refresh up here. Now you can see there's this little file here, which however is not yet included in the project. As you can see, IntelliSense does not work, it doesn't give you any fancy code highlighting, and in order to actually make it compile into our project, we're going to want to right click on it and click include in project. You can also just right click on the directory and do the same. Now, we have function wrapper, but we don't yet have YYToolkit itself. So to import the final piece of the puzzle, you're going to want to go into YYToolkit source, YYTK, and here you're going to see 2 very familiar sounding files, that being shared.cpp and shared.hpp. You're going to want to download both of these files and save them to your downloads folder. Once you have that, I already have them here from a previous attempt, so just don't mind it. It's going to be named shared.hpp for you. Once you have that, you can just go and go into the include folder here again, click on add, new folder, and name it YYToolkit. Again, it has to be named this way, or else the automatic headers won't actually register properly. They're not going to be finding each other. Now, once you've again pasted these 2 files into the YYToolkit folder, you can close File Explorer down, you won't need it again. Hit refresh up here and right click include in project. Now you actually see we have all these files here, but we're not out of the woods yet. The final thing we have to do is head over to our module main.cpp file, and we're gonna add a new include. We're gonna, instead of including Aurie shared, we're gonna include YYTK, so YYToolkit shared, and actually we don't need to include Aurie, I feel, yeah, because that's already included for us together with function wrapper. So you can just remove the Aurie shared include from here, and that's pretty much all you need to do. Now we essentially have everything set up for plugin development. In order to compile, because right now if I just go to build and build solution, as you can see, it will throw a bunch of warnings and then an error. This is due to the fact that debug compilations are very strict on what's permitted, and there's actually warning level 4 selected, which is why it's coming up with all these warnings about unreferenced parameters. Now, since we don't want to worry about that right now, what I recommend doing is you switching into release mode, which will make these errors go away if I try to compile again. And as you can see, we have a successful compilation. So that's it for the video. In the next one, I'm going to show you how to get a handle on YYToolkit's interface, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you. Bye.